Sarah Martinez stared at the family photo on her cluttered desk, her daughter's gap-toothed grin frozen in time. The clock ticked relentlessly, each second another grain of sand slipping away. Her phone buzzed again. Was it the school about Tommy's science project or the hospital regarding Dad's latest test results? Sarah's hand hovered, paralyzed by the weight of endless demands. In that moment, Sarah embodied a generation caught in the crucible of midlife, where personal aspirations often smolder beneath the ash of daily obligations. But this isn't a lament for lost time. It's a call to seize the sand that remains and shape a future aligned with our deepest values. I felt like I was drowning, Sarah confides, dark circles beneath her eyes betraying nights spent juggling spreadsheets and spelling lists. Every day was a mad dash from one responsibility to the next. I was everywhere and nowhere at once. This sentiment echoes across boardrooms and living rooms alike. A recent study by the Pew Research Center found that nearly half of adults in their 40s feel sandwiched between raising children and caring for aging parents, all while navigating peak career pressures. The result? A pervasive sense of time poverty that leaves little room for self-reflection or personal growth. How many of us can relate to Sarah's struggle? When was the last time you paused to consider not just what you're doing, but why you're doing it? For Sarah, the catalyst for change arrived with devastating clarity. My friend Jack showed up at my door one evening, his face ashen, she recounts, her voice catching. He told me our college buddy Tom had died of a heart attack at 43. Tom was always talking about his retirement plans, all the things he'd do someday. Now someday would never come. This stark reminder of mortality serves as a powerful metaphor for the urgency of living with intention. Dr. Laura Carstensen, professor of psychology and director of the Stanford Center on Longevity, explains, midlife is often when we first confront our own finitude in concrete terms. This awareness can be paralyzing, or it can be the spark that ignites profound personal growth and realignment of priorities. In the aftermath of her friend's passing, Sarah found herself caught in a frenzy of activity. I tried to do everything at once, she admits, gesturing to a wall calendar so packed with commitments it resembled abstract art. Work late, volunteer at school, start a side business as if by sheer force of will I could outrun time itself. This reaction, while common, often leads to diminishing returns. Dr. Carstensen notes, there's a pervasive myth that we can have it all if we just work hard enough. In reality, this approach often leads to burnout and a sense of failure when we inevitably fall short. The turning point for Sarah came not in doing more, but in doing less with greater purpose. I can't do everything, Sarah realized one sleepless night, the gentle snores of her family a poignant reminder of what truly mattered. But I can do the right things. This epiphany marks a crucial shift in mindset, one that psychologists and life coaches increasingly advocate for those in midlife. Dr. Greg McKeown, author of Essentialism, The Disciplined Pursuit of Less, argues that success can become a catalyst for failure. He explains, the more options we have, the more we feel we need to do everything. But success in life actually stems from making fewer decisions, not more. For Sarah, this meant a ruthless evaluation of her commitments and desires. Armed with a fresh sheet of paper, she began the difficult task of prioritizing. I crossed out items I'd carried on my to-do list for years, she says, running her finger over the deep indentations left by her pen. It felt like cutting away a part of myself, but with each no, I felt lighter. Sarah's journey of self-discovery led her to an unexpected place, a construction site. I'd always dreamed of creating a community center, she reveals, her eyes sparkling with renewed energy. Something that would bring people together, offer support, create connections. It had always been someday. Suddenly I realized someday is now. This shift from diffuse effort to focused purpose is key. Dr. Angela Duckworth, professor of psychology at the University of Pennsylvania and author of Grit, the Power of Passion and Perseverance, emphasizes the importance of aligning actions with core values. It's not just about working hard, she says, it's about working hard on the things that truly matter to you. For Sarah, this meant saying no to volunteer commitments that didn't align with her vision, delegating more at work, and being selective about social engagements. Each no felt like a yes to myself, she reflects, her smile genuine for the first time in months. As Sarah's community center project took shape, steel beams rising against the sky like a physical manifestation of her renewed focus, she noticed a transformation beyond the construction site. I'm more present with my family, she says. When I'm with my kids, I'm fully there, not half listening while my mind races to the next task. I can feel the warmth of my daughter's hand in mine, hear the excitement in my son's voice as he describes his day. This renewed focus extends to her professional life as well. Sarah's boss, initially skeptical of her scaled-back hours, notes she's more productive now than ever. There's a clarity and drive to her work that's infectious. It's like she's found her North Star, and it's guiding everything she does. Your life, like Sarah's, is an hourglass. Each grain of sand is a moment, a choice, a step towards or away from your truest self. The challenge of our 40s isn't to do everything, it's to do the right things in the right order, to create a life that resonates with personal meaning. Take a moment now. Close your eyes and visualize your ideal future, not as a vague concept, but as a vivid reality. What do you see? What are you doing? How do you feel? Now ask yourself, 1. What's the one dream you've been putting off? 2. What truly matters most to you? 3. If you could focus on building just one bridge in the next decade, what would it be? Identify your non-negotiable priority, the cornerstone of your next chapter. Then commit to one concrete step you'll take this week to move towards that dream. Write it down, share it with a friend, make it real. Remember, it's not about having more time, but about making your time count. In the words of poet Mary Oliver, tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Your 40s aren't a countdown. They're a call to action. Imagine looking back on your life from the vantage point of 80. Will you see a life filled with regrets or one paved with purpose? The choice, like each grain of sand, is yours. How will you make it shine?